Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Preimesberger, editor of eWEEK. Thank you very much for joining us today for this latest segment of eWEEK eSpeaks. It's a series of informal conversations with IT thought leaders from every corner of the business. Our interviewee today is Adam Crigger. Adam is the president and founder of Preferred Strategies in the lovely seaside town of Soquel, California. Adam, welcome.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris. It's a great opportunity to join you today, and thanks for the invite.
What's the weather like at the beach out there today? Pretty nice?
I'm sure a lot of the country's not going to be happy with my response. It looks like it's blue skies and probably 75 degrees and
Yeah.
beautiful today.
And here it is, it's still March too. What do you know? Anyway, Adam, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came to found Preferred Strategies.
Yeah, no, thank you. Out of college, I took a job at a local company here in the Bay Area, construction company, just implementing an ERP of JD Edwards, now owned by the Oracle family. And I was in the finance department, and as a company, we struggled getting information out of JD Edwards, and then also bring other data sources and getting financial management information out of the system, and really any ERP related data. And we found some good avenues to solve that. And talking to other companies that were all struggling with the same challenge, thought, well, let's do this as a business. And so in 2002, I left there to start Preferred Strategies, and for the last 18 years, which is what we've been doing and helping other companies turn their ERP data into decision-ready information. So that's how we got kind of started.
And that's what it's all about today, is getting information and value out of your data so that it can help you with your business today, and then looking forward, looking ahead at what might happen so that you can have a much more successful business. Tell me about what you produce. Do you actually make software, and do you do consultation also?
Yeah, no, it's great. So our companies, we're kind of now applied to a software company. Back in 2002, we started out just doing training and consulting 100%. After doing training on top of JD Edwards and getting financial reports written out of the system with certain reporting technology, it started out with Crystal reports back then. But we found we're going to each customer and recreating a wheel, right? Because the underlying data source of the ERP was the same. Every company had financial or sales, and the tables living in the database were consistent across the board. But we had to go, and again, to turn that data into usable information, had to do a lot of work. And so we found ourselves going to customer, and it finally dawned on us, why don't we create some templates? Why don't we create a data model? Why don't we create some structure so not every company has to recreate it? And that's what really kicked off what now we call Quick Launch. So our Quick Launch is it's a bundled solution that is thousands of hours it's taken to build it. But really, it's not a software on its own. What's a little unique about our solution in the ERP space and just reporting space, there's a lot of companies that have built their own reporting technology or analytics technology from the ground up. And we took a different approach. Rather than building our own reporting software, we thought, let's take market-leading software. And nowadays, our go-to-market's all Microsoft Power BI, which is now, according to Gartner, sitting in pole position in Leaders Quadrant. So we take those types of market-leading technologies and connect them back to a specific ERP of JD Edwards, or now also we support another ERP of Viewpoint, and now just in the last year, Salesforce CRM as well. So in essence, what we're doing with our Quick Launch is having a package solution that we're just connecting, and it's tailored for each client on how they configure these systems. So there's a lot of customizations that companies make. So it's not like our out-of-box deliverable doesn't support that. We encourage that. It's tailored for a lot of those customizations right out of the gate. And then the foundation of what we're building with our Quick Launch is then becomes that governed single source of truth, right? That kind of holy grail of a lot of the analytics strategy. But now you can take that same standardization and apply it to other data sources. So a lot of times our customers will have us, use what we've built in place for right out of the gate JD Edwards, and then deploy it across, all data sources on premise in the cloud, wherever they are.
Yeah. So. And, as a longtime journalist in this field, I've come across quite a number of software providers that provides a particular kind of service, or their software performs a kind of service, but then the user says, well, hey, wait a second, I can do this same thing over in this other department over here, and it'll work, that kind of thing. The innovation that people have is just astounding. That's what I like about this business, is finding out how people use things and then reuse them otherwise. It sounds like Preferred Strategies is a very agile and just a very usable tool for a lot of different purposes depending on the use case. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. Our company's, we're about, there's 25 of us, more than 25 of us today. We have multiple teams. We have an implementation team that once, we need to go and get it configured, which would normally take years to get it built from scratch. We get up and running in 8 weeks. And then there's always a lot of extra things that companies want to do. So we then bring in a professional services team to kind of help the customer augment their own staff, or if they're looking to outsource, we can help them along the way. We also then have the product development team that works, and product management teams that help build. But we've built out also a community, and I think it's so important. We talk about some where companies are going, and with the technologies changing so fast, it's you need a way to help people keep themselves informed of what works and what doesn't work. And so our community, we try to instill that, but also bring our customers together. And I'd love to share some ideas of how we do that with our community, and some examples we've done with some user groups and so forth. But
yeah, it sounds almost like the open source community where everybody's helping each other out at all times, different times. But is that kind of the way it is? Do people from one of the company customers that you have help? Are they available to help other customers if they have the same problem, or are you kind of the connector?
Yeah, so I like to think that we are, because one of the things that we do is we expand our solution, our quick launch solution, purely based on customer demand. So we find that in certain industries or certain businesses, this is what's critical to drive their business forward. If we feel that could be applicable to others, then that's where we look to expand our solution, and then everybody that's a subscription customer of our solution then gets to leverage those upgrades. And the other thing is, because technology moves so fast, it's hard for companies that build something on their own to keep up with that. And so we're doing that. But we had at our last user group in November, one of our customers had even came to us and said, we've got a great idea. We've started with Quick Launch building all these great dashboards and reports and metrics, and we'd love to be able to share those with your other customers. And maybe we create this, other side community where each company that wants to leverage what others have done and also share back to that pool. And we can just kind of be the conduit to connect all the dots. Obviously, there's a lot of sensitive information when it comes around corporate data, so nothing can be shared across companies around the data. But for companies that are willing to go and find solutions and find and build out content that's been very strategic for them, we can take it, we can generalize it, right? Obviously based on their willingness, and then share it with others. So that's kind of where we're looking our next tier of community to help support that, based on the feedback we just got a few months back.
It's almost parallel to like crowdsourcing. I mean, kind of helping each other out on a particular problem or project, and then you could take that greater knowledge and incorporate it into the overall, practice that you have, which is fabulous work. I was going to ask, we're really interested in the whole idea of no code and low code, and how it's resurfaced recently, citizen development, so to speak. Would you consider your software a low code type product, or what?
Yeah, so I think when we talk about modern analytics and self-service, you've got to put solutions together that are at some point user-friendly enough for the layperson or the business person, right? And when you talk about data coming back from a very complex source, like let's say JD Edwards as an example, the data sits in a cryptic format. It's kind of, a lot of companies consider it a big black box. So what we do is we kind of decipher that into, and even in our model, we support 15 different modules of the ERP. So we can pull sales and general ledger and AP and AR and inventory. And so, but everything relates. So when it shares a common by product or by customer or supplier, you want to be able to kind of report across the business that way. So what we've done is with our model, we've done all that hard work. And so if I'm someone in purchasing and I want to just very quickly identify what's my open purchasing by supplier, I could grab in say Power BI, connect to our model and just drag in supplier and the open amount. And within 2 clicks, I've got it. Now, if you look at all the layers to get to that, that's not easy. And unfortunately, there's no easy button when it comes to this type of stuff. So I think from that standpoint, that's critical. And as far as low code, no code, what I would say is the technologies that we work in, and there isn't really no code type environments, but what we're doing is we're consistent, it's standardized. So now companies have a foundation that a lot of them, especially for some of our customers that don't have a very strong IT team, they mostly have outsourced, a lot of the technical type capabilities. Some of those companies would never have been able to kind of figure this out on their own, right? And so the fact that they can, in a matter of weeks, get this up and running, and now they can get their business users truly doing self-service, it wouldn't have been possible without something like Quick Launch. So in that regard, I would say I think we're really simplifying the environment for people. But yeah, it's we try to provide as easy of an experience for the companies on the technical side, as well as the all the way from the authors and developers all the way up to the executives. Are just really just analyzing maybe they're monitoring their key metrics or KPIs at the top level of the company.
Yeah, it makes it sense. User interface is so important. If you can't figure out how to use it, you're not going to use it, and it's going to sit on the shelf. So, Adam, we have just a couple minutes left, so I'd like to touch on a couple things. You have a new partnership coming up that you'd like to discuss or announce, or what?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that as far as a new quick launch solution around Salesforce.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be it.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up, Chris. We've been using Salesforce internally as a company and using it to analyze and our own activity around the CRM from pipeline and opportunities and accounts and activities and quotas and quotes, and we use it as core part of our business. And so we've always been using Microsoft Power BI, which is the front end technology that we use for our quick launch. And in the last year, we've had a lot of customers asking about it as a key data source, and finally dawned on us that, hey, we can take what we've been using for years and really package it up the same way we have for the ERP side of the business of JD Edwards and Viewpoint. And so, yeah, just recently we've rolled out a quick launch for Salesforce, and super excited about the potential. I've got nothing but great feedback from companies that are are engaged in it. And so, yeah, it's a great, going to be a great part of our 2021 rollout.
Good for you. Last question is, what kinds of businesses actually do you cater to, and can you name a couple?
Sure. No, absolutely. Our smallest are if you're running these types of technologies, not outside of Salesforce, but on the ERP side, our smallest customers have 25 million in revenue, largest is 150 billion. We do a lot of customer related thing, kind of events and testimonial type. Even back in last May, we did a roundtable with a few different customers. Cliff Bar Energy Bars, one of our customers. We had Todd Wilson, the CIO at Cliff Bar, present. Alta Gas, another energy company, where they presented, and also had eWEEK, another customer there. We've done at a lot of local user conferences, the construction space, Granite Construction. We presented with them and had some great stories. So yeah, we're very fortunate to have a lot of great companies that we partner with, and that's really our goal is to find companies that value data as much as we do and partner together on their data-driven journey. And everything we've been talking about this whole call is a journey, and so that's really what we look for, is purely a partnership, is not really a customer, supplier, vendor, we like it's really a partnership, and it is a journey.
Very good. If any of our viewers or readers would like to find you, can they find you at preferredstrategies.com or what?
100%. Yeah, it's preferredstrategies.com. Yeah, every time I share my email, it's probably the longest email in the world, but I'll spell it out for people. But I figure people they're on the online looking, you can probably Google it. Yeah, preferredstrategies.com, and
Yeah.
we'd love to see you and send us a note.
Great. Yeah, well, yours isn't quite as long as technologyadvice.com, which is my publisher. So that's the way it is. Adam Crigger of Preferred Strategies, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a pleasure. And anything else in the future where you think we could provide some assistance, we're always here.
Hey, guys like me are always looking for good sources, so I'll note that. So anyway, thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
And for everybody following along to the end here, thank you very much and have a great rest of your eWEEK. Thanks for joining us on eWEEK eSpeaks. Go to eWEEK.com to hear more conversations with IT thought leaders.